Hey, hello everyone. I'm Lauren Hubele, and I want to welcome you to Shamanism, Metaphysics, and Grace. Today, Jyoti is going to introduce us to the chart for the year 2025 that we're about to walk into and let us know what to expect. Thanks, Jyoti.
Thank you, Lauren. This is a New Year's Day chart at midnight. And I did the chart for Eastern Standard Time for Washington, D.C. because it's global, but I'm looking at this country.
Okay, so
So
this would be like a birth chart for the year.
it is the birth of the new year at exactly midnight of January 1st and the beginning of January 1st, 2025. And so, yes, it's the birth of the new year. It can be, you can do a chart for the birth of a business, any venture, anything like that. So this is for 2025.
Okay.
And it is 31 hours after the new moon, which is quite auspicious, coming off a new moon, a new cycle. And so it's Sun in Capricorn and Moon in Capricorn. So it's a double Capricorn. Capricorn is about goal setting, liking to have something out ahead that draws you toward it, that draws you into your future.
It's interesting being a double Capricorn just as Pluto moved out of Capricorn.
Yes, yes, Pluto's kind of near the moon, even though Pluto is in Aquarius because the moon is in late Capricorn.
Okay.
So, to look at this, with the moon conjuncting Pluto, it is about emotionally transformative situations. However, that moon and Pluto are both trine the planet Uranus at 23 degrees Taurus. And so it lends to one could say a larger transformational opportunity. Not just me and you, not just individually, but collectively.
Mm.
More of a sense of, oh, you could say inspiration. Like we could see this as an adventure, and this is where we're going, and this is what's being asked of us right now.
Mm. That sounds lovely.
It does, however, that Moon and Pluto also oppose Mars. And so there is that challenge there of Mars opposing Pluto, challenges to the status quo, and it feeling kind of sometimes invasive or intrusive. I mean, it's Mars and Pluto, so it's not an easy adventure. It's got its challenges to it. You might come around a corner and there's a 2-year-old male lion standing there. What do you do? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And whatever that 2-year-old male lion represents in your world.
Right. Right.
Yes.
And but we're seeing this on a collective stage for all of us here in the United States. So what does that male lion look like for us in this country?
Challenge in some way, maybe not exactly as we're thinking it's going to come down the pike,
Oh,
because
sure.
that trine to the planet Uranus, and also that Moon and Pluto trine the South Node. So we're really looking at our past and what it's time to let go of in that challenge while that challenge is going on. And so that young male lion might be something that we've thought, well, this is the way it needs to be, and all of a sudden we're seeing, well, maybe not.
Mm.
Maybe there's some other pieces here that haven't been really clearly on the table yet. And so it does pose a challenge to our thinking, our belief systems, to maybe our feelings because of the moon being there. But it's also opportunities to really shed some things and not take them into the future, not take them into this next year too far.
Mhm. Mhm. So we've had this, we're coming off of this year where we all had opportunity again and again to do this internal work, right?
Yes, yes.
And so what I'm hearing you say, now we're moving into this place where we can let that go and face some new challenges, maybe.
I think both is true. We're still not done with the Mars Pluto. We
Okay.
still have another
There's
round to go with
more to
that.
go.
Yeah, a little bit down the road a ways. But
Mhm.
yes, yes, definitely what you're saying about the future, because Neptune and the North Node are together, and the North Node is the learning curve of the year, what we came to learn about, what in our own charts, it's what we came to learn and have experiences of. And so in this New Year's chart, there's opportunities for spiritual growth and understanding. I mean, real opportunities. This is the North Node at the last degree of Aries, getting ready to retrograde back into Pisces for the next, I think it's 18 months. And it's conjuncting Neptune near the end of Pisces. And so it's giving us opportunities to really look at and see, what is it that maybe we've had illusions of, and what is it now time to rent the veil and be more clear about where we're going.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I say that because also that Neptune North Node is trining Mars. And because of that, there's a real energization, almost a sense of adventure of, okay, what is around that next corner? Is it a young lion? Is it an angel with, guiding wings? I mean, you can pick your metaphor, but there's a sense of inspiration, perhaps, and adventure.
Well, I love the way you're sharing this, Jyoti, because what I'm hearing is, okay, there's challenges ahead. However, we might perceive them differently
Yeah,
given these aspects. And so, yes, challenges, but yes, with a sense of adventure. And also, one thing I'm hearing real clearly, they're not going to be the challenges we think that they're going to be.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Which is particularly interesting, us coming off of this election year and people being wherever they may be, feeling whatever they may be feeling about what's coming up. What I'm hearing is it might not be what you think.
Exactly, Lauren. Exactly. Exactly.
Interesting.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
very interesting because there might be some surprises.
Yeah. Yeah. But not the surprises that you're bracing for, right?
No, no, people will be braced. They have a
Yeah.
mindset and they will be
Sure.
braced. But I think that um, when the expected or the perceived challenge doesn't quite match up to what they thought they were going to have to deal with, I think that some people will be able to relax. Some people will be able to
Sure.
let their guard down and their defenses down, because Mars is trining Chiron. I'm sorry, Mercury is trining Chiron here, and there's a lot of healing potential here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so under that, I'm kind of hearing this, Jyoti, that if things don't roll out like I'm braced for, what else might I not be seeing clearly? So
Yeah.
there's that opportunity for me to go, oh, well, if I thought that was going to be like this, what else have I misread?
Yes, yes, and let me step back, take a minute, because remember Mars is still retrograde. Let me step back, take a minute, and maybe reassess here, because maybe I'm not seeing things as clearly as I thought, or reading the omens and the signs, in a way that is really what's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Which is,
Jupiter squares Saturn. We're dancing with that Jupiter square Saturn back in 2020 when it was a conjunction. Now this is its first aspect, that first square. And so it's a reevaluation of these times versus those times. And what is not the same of those times now. and where might we feel that push pull to set things in motion, step back and be cautious. No, I want to do this. Well, I need to think about it. So it's that Jupiter Saturn kind of yes and no at the same time.
Is that the one that you said was thick and thin with
Yes, yes,
Twitter and
yes. So
okay.
it's yes, then it's no, then it's
Hmm.
maybe, yes, then it's maybe no. Yes.
Hmm. But every time we do that, we are stepping back, taking pause, responding rather than reacting.
Yes. Yes. We're thinking about it. We're looking at it because something made us pause to step back and rethink something. So, I mean, if I had to give this chart a title, I think the title I would give it is Rethinking.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, I think it's a rethinking time, especially going into this year. I mean, I'm not looking at the whole year right now with all the different aspects and eclipses and all of that. I'm just looking at this overview of the birth of 2025. And so there's some challenges here, but there are some real gifts here. But one cannot compare it to what happened in 2024. I hear a lot of people going, oh, 2024 has just been such a bear, and we're going into 2025 and it's going to be, a party. And it's like, yeah, no party here.
Okay,
No party
okay.
here. It is different than 2024, but it is no less strong. It's a strong year.
Okay. Okay. With a flair of adventure.
With a flair of adventure and insight and even inspiration with that Mars and North Node fiery energy and Mercury and Sag, trining Chiron, both in fire. There's a lot of inspiration here. But there's also, it's like, what's that expression? A cautionary tale.
Mm,
It's a cautionary tale. People might think, okay, January 1st, I'm going to leap into this new year and everything's going to be so much better than 2024. And it's like, maybe some things are different, maybe some things are relatively similar, and maybe I need to just pay attention more to see where I want to put my energy.
mm. And it sounds like the energy will be there for us to pay attention.
I think so.
Yeah.
I really think so, especially with that Jupiter square Saturn. And Venus is squaring the planet Uranus. And this is wanting freedom and wanting to do things differently, not wanting to do things the way they've been done, because it lets you see in that need for freedom and need to do things differently, it lets you see the flaws of what wasn't working and now what needs to change in order to have a shot at what could work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. So freedom needs is very important, and especially with Pluto's movement into Aquarius. I mean, it's you know, freedom is the name of the game for the next 20 years.
Rethinking freedom this year.
And what it means and what it looks like and what it is as far as the reality of it, the livingness of it, not just the ideal, not just the mind stuff, but what does freedom look like in my everyday life?
Mhm. Mhm.
What can I say? What can I not say? What can I do? What can I not do? And just looking at what really is freedom all about?
Well, Jyoti, as you're saying this, it makes me think back to a number of the recordings we did in 2024 where the theme kept being taking your power back, right? And piece by piece. And so we've had a year where it feels like to me, we've been collecting our power back from this and that and here and there. So now we have that. And now what I'm hearing you say, we have this invitation to, with our power back, look at our meaning now of what freedom is.
Yeah. Yeah, taking our power back and what do we want to do with it?
Right.
Where do we
Right.
want to where do we want to focus it? Where do we want to step in and say, "Well, I'm going to stand for this."
Right. What's
You
the
know?
fight worth fighting?
Yes, yes. And where do I want to put my support? Because I believe in this situation, or this is what moves me, or, how do I, make a stand in my sense of truth and also in my sense of service.
Is there anything in this about the correct use of power?
Well, Pluto is about the right use of power, and the right use of power is to own it and embrace it and help everyone around you feel empowered as well.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's the right use of power. Where you focus it, that's really personal
Sure. Sure.
and
But that's what
individual.
Pluto in Aquarius will be helping us do.
And individually and collectively,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because Aquarius is about the individual. They're very individualistic people, and truth seekers and truth speakers and humanitarian people. And yet they are also very much about group, hive mind, group consciousness, the sense of community, the sense of we're all one family, what works with that, what doesn't work with that, that kind of overview.
Yeah. Cool. What else do we need to know, Jyoti?
I don't know if there's anything really pressing, anything else really pressing. I know Mercury has a bunch of aspects in this chart. It's squaring Neptune and Saturn, trining Chiron, opposing Jupiter. So what we say, the overview we look at, the larger picture we're looking at, and what we say, how we express ourselves, what we give language to, where we might see past some limitations in the way we looked at things before. I think that's all relative as well, all part and parcel of this next year.
Hmm.
And what we're willing to see, Mercury squaring Neptune. It's easy to sit back and say, well, you know, maybe it'll work out like this, or maybe it'll look like that, and I can just kind of sit back and watch it. But as we've seen through like different disasters in the world this year, especially, that it really takes the people to bail it out. We can't sit around and wait for other people to swoop in and heroically bail it out. It's us, the people, and that's Pluto in Aquarius, we, the people. So seeing where you, the people, can assist
Hmm.
is really important, and not just thinking it's going to, there's going to be some kind of divine intervention. There isn't. I mean, it could be. I'm not ruling that out, but it usually comes through people, through humans.
Sure.
So, what are you, in a sense, allowing to come through you?
Hmm. Jyoti, it sounds like a challenge, but it sounds like a beautiful challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Well, these are those times, these are those times we've all thought about, those of us who are older, that we might see or we might not get to see. And these are those times of really kind of standing up, taking responsibility, and pushing things that don't work off the edge of the cliff,
Great.
which I think is a great visual.
It is. It is. I think we're going to see a lot of that this next year.
I think so. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because having a world that we would like to live in is getting closer and closer,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying next year. I'm just saying the
Oh,
kind of world we would really like to live in, aside from all the differences and all the wars and everything else. I think the kind of life we would like to live and the kind of world we would like to live in is just getting closer.
Sounds like a good place to wrap this recording up.
I think so.
Yeah, great, Jyoti. And we'll be back, everyone, next week with a overview of the entire year.
I think we're doing the first
Oh,
six
6
months.
months. Yeah,
Yes,
sorry
we're
about
doing the
that.
first, yes,
So listen,
yes,
we'll take 6 months at a time. Great.
yes,
Thank you, Jyoti. Thanks for your guidance today.
absolutely, Lauren.